Hey everybody, welcome back to the Digital Imaging channel. I'm Will, and today we're going to be talking about some aspects of physical security that you should be looking for when you're choosing a scanning partner. Deciding to scan your records is the first step of a conversion project, but then you need to choose who you're going to work with, and the physical security of your records should be high on your list of must-haves. And in the sense of physical security, not all companies are created equal. So in this video, we're going to go over a few things that you should be keeping an eye out for when it relates to physical security and choosing a scanning partner. Before we get into the individual items for physical security, I'm going to describe what secure scanning means, at least to us. And secure scanning is basically how your records are protected while they're in our possession during a conversion project. Before getting into the actual items for physical security, secure scanning is basically how your records are protected while they're in our possession during a conversion project. And the two main types of security are physical and digital security. In this video, we're going to focus solely on the physical security aspect. And another quick note, we can only describe how we protect records. We can't describe how every other company that does scanning like us protects your records in the physical security realm. But you should be looking for things like this when you're researching who to work with and potential partners. First item on the list is camera and video monitoring. So what we have is 24/7 interior and exterior camera monitoring that is recorded so we can check on videos. If something happens, we can go see what it is. All entry points to our building have a camera on the exterior, seeing what's going on outside and who comes in, and also from the interior, so when someone comes in from the outside, we can see them coming into the building. So you have two angles of every single entry point to the building. And not only are the entry points to the actual building from the outside monitored, but also the individual rooms and production areas within the building also have camera monitoring, so we can see who's going into the individual scanning areas and production areas of our facilities. The next thing you should be looking for and asking about are the employee entry protocols and how do people get into the building. In our case, each employee has a photo ID and a key fob badge, and they will use that to scan when they get to the building. They also have a individual PIN code that's required with the badge to get into our facility. So if you don't have both, the PIN code and the badge, you're not able to get into the building. If for some reason an employee forgets their badge or whatever the reasons they don't have one on that day, they're actually considered a visitor for the day and they're logged into our visitor book and given a temporary badge for that work day. Next up are visitor procedures. So when folks do come to our facilities to either work with one of our sales reps or to pick up material or just see how we operate before they decide to work with us, we do have visitors come by. Maybe we have some vendors coming by for maintenance or whatever the reason is, but there are protocols for our visitors. So first, if someone is going to be coming inside the building, they have to go to the front lobby and go through the front door to get into the building. Someone can't just get in without a PIN code and key fob. They need to ring the bell, we need to let them in, and then once they come inside the building, they get signed in our visitor log. Now, if they're going to be entering the production area, not the lobby public area, they will then need to provide government-issued ID, and then they can get into the production area as long as they're escorted by a BMI employee. So whenever we do have a visitor in the production or plant area of our facilities, they're escorted by a BMI employee at all times. Another aspect of physical security that you could ask about is how is the facility segregated for different parts of the company? And what I mean by that is once you're inside the building, are different parts of it set up and segregated from other parts based on the material, based on the access, and who's allowed to go where? In our case, I mentioned before the visitors, we have a front entrance lobby area that someone can be in, but that is physically separated from our production area where we actually have materials, projects going on, sensitive data, and you can't even get into that production area without your employee badge. Having that front office segregated from the production area provides an additional level of security even once you're inside the building. It's like an onion, you have different layers. Once you're in the production area, there are additional areas of the buildings that are separated based on the level of security. So we have a couple areas that are restricted based on project access, and employees can't even get into these restricted areas unless they've been designated through our network security to have access to these areas, like our server room, like our vault, restricted storage areas. Maybe there's a particular project being scanned in our film scanning room. Only designated employees can work on that project. Other employees won't be able to get in because they have not been designated to enter that part of the building at a certain time. The importance of this segregation is that once you're in the building, you don't just have a giant warehouse where everyone can see everything, anyone can wander around. It's very just sort of loosey-goosey. This is very compartmentalized and segregated so that only designated employees or escorted individuals can go to certain areas of the building, and projects with different levels and classifications of security can be separated from other projects and only worked on by designated employees. One more area you might want to look at, which I just alluded to in the segregated, compartmentalized description, is the on-site vault and storage areas of a scanning company. And what we do is we have a restricted storage area for projects and materials that hit a certain security classification level. And we also have an on-site vault. So even within our building, once you're inside, there are those segregated areas that only designated employees can get to based on project permission access. And additionally, for the on-site vault, it's temperature and humidity controlled, which is specific for microfilm and microfiche records, so they can be protected and not be sitting in the back of a warehouse where it's too hot or too cold or whatever it is. It's not only physically protected and secure, but it has that temperature and humidity control. Wrapping up, those are just a few items you could look for when you're researching companies to work with for your scanning project. Ask those questions. How are they keeping your records secure? What procedures do they have in place? How's the building set up? How are your records protected? It should be important to you. It should be important to them. So ask those questions. Make sure you get that warm and fuzzy feeling when you decide to work with a scanning partner. Make sure to subscribe to our channel so you keep getting videos like this, and we'll see you next time.